how much have you made in your best month financially, and your worst month? Because I know it's probably up and down in the car rental. Strictly nothing extra, just the car rental space.
Yeah, I think the best month we've had in the car rental space is probably going to be somewhere close to 80 to 100,000 a month.
Wait, what?
Probably in the past 2-3 months we probably hit that. I haven't been looking at the numbers because I don't manage that as much. I handle the academy side of things, but we've had a phenomenal year, and I think we're probably doing anywhere up to 70 to 100,000.
You said that too quick. I don't think I heard you right.
Yeah, 70 to 100K
in a month. Welcome to another episode of Wine with Talks, where I get to sit down and have insightful conversations with high achievers in their respective field over a glass of wine. And today I have a special guest. Yeah. Mike the businessman is in the building. Good to see you, bro.
My brother. It's been a while, bro.
It has.
I didn't know this was going to happen. It has. It's been almost a year in the making, but I'm finally here.
That's amazing.
In the wine cellar with my man.
You are.
Totes.
Speaking about wine, let's get into the wine.
Yes,
Tell me what you think about it.
Man, cheers. What is this though? What we having today?
We're having a Cabernet Sauvignon by Aquilini. This is a 2017 vintage. It is 100% Cabernet Sauvignon. I know you like Cabernet.
100%. So that's my drink.
Yep. That's why I broke that out. So tell me what you think about it. Let's take a sip.
So you got to educate me on the wine etiquette.
So let's start with that. Let's start with that. It's 5 S's. Okay. You see. Okay. You swirl. Okay. You smell. You sip. And you store.
The 5 S's. I love that.
So when you see, like, looking at this wine, it's a little bit more darker. So you're thinking about like darker berries, like blackcurrant. Right. Those kind of berries, just from looking at it. Okay. You see, then you swirl.
Okay, you swirl.
Swirling is gonna make it breathe, make your wine breathe a little bit. You're probably holding the glass a little bit wrong.
I'm on too high, right? A little lower, so I don't spill it.
Yeah, and then you see, you swirl, then you smell.
I smell that.
So you pick notes of like the berries. I can pick like secondary notes, like the sweet. I can smell like sweet vanilla flavors. Gives me an insight onto how the wine was made in the first place. So this wine was probably matured in an oak barrel instead of a stainless steel. And then the fourth, the favorite, you sip.
You sip. There you go. Let's do that. That's what I've been waiting for.
Oh yeah. So it kind of.
Oh, that's rich.
So when you look at the first 3, when you finally sip, it makes the point of your assessment, or cancels out your assessment. You're either right or wrong.
Gotcha.
And then
that's you store it, right?
Yeah.
And I noticed like it's very complex.
Yep.
There's a richness to it, unlike your regular bottle. Like this seems like some bougie stuff right here, man.
Well, if bougie is nice, yes, it is.
So now I'll tell you my wine journey. Actually, funny enough, I've always been a whiskey guy, old-fashioned rye whiskey. Okay. That's my jam, right? Never much of a drinker. Past year or two, I started picking it up. And whiskeys, but then wine started for me maybe about 6-7 months ago. Okay. And I just found the other ones to be too sweet. The Cabernet just seemed like the sweet spot for me. Yeah. And what I started was, someone told me, I don't know where I heard this, you start from the cheap bottles and just keep working your way up. And then that's what I've been doing. I think we're almost about anywhere from the $30 to $100 bottles. That's where we're at now. And finding that sweet one. Yep. I've settled on Beringer, and then there's other one.
Beringer is a good one.
What's it called?
Duckhorn.
Duckhorn.
Yeah.
There you go. So those are the ones that we alternate between. Yeah. And so far.
That's good. Okay.
I haven't gotten to your $1,000 bottles and all of that. Yes. Working my way.
Yeah, working your way.
Yes, sir.
Speaking about $1,000 bottles, you've been doing a lot of great stuff in your business. I've been seeing a lot of, traction. I saw people, So before we go deeper into the business talk. Okay. Who is Mike the businessman, and why the businessman part in your name? Where is he from?
Great question. So actually, Mike is first off, I'm a child of God, a Christian man. Next, also, I'm a husband. I'm a husband to beautiful wife Marie. I'm a dad. I've got 2 girls. I'm a girl dad. I've got a 14-year-old and I got a 10-year-old daughter.
Pressure.
Yes, sir. Tell me about it, right? And then it just, the businessman part of it goes back to my upbringing, right? I grew up in a family, and I'm Nigerian American, born in Greenville, Texas, but to Nigerian parents. But I never saw my parents clock into work. I never saw my parents do a traditional 9-to-5 ever.
Really?
Ever since I was a kid, it was always a hustle. My dad was a politician and also a businessman. He had a poultry business, a big, huge poultry business. Okay. My mom always had different things, whether she was doing government contracts or she was starting a bakery, or she always had things she was doing, right? So that's all I was ever around. My uncles, the same thing too. Okay. So that influenced me to where at a younger age, after I graduated college, I tried to go do the 9 to 5 thing.
Okay.
I graduated from Rutgers University, New Jersey. I couldn't get a job, bro. Like, so I had some boys here in Dallas, Texas, selling auto insurance.
Okay.
So they put me on the game. Within a year or two of doing that, I opened up my own agencies because that entrepreneurial thing just clicked in. Like, yo, I got it. The whole time I'm working for someone else, and I still do it to today. When I'm working for someone else, I'm looking behind the scenes.
Okay.
How are they running this shit?
Operating? Okay.
That's what I'm learning. That's the way my brain is wired.
Okay.
Right? It's not even a task at hand. It's the behind the scenes stuff. It's who I'm looking at. And then I'm learning that stuff and I'm going out there and implementing. And that's what I did. Within 2 years, I set up my own agencies. I had 3 auto insurance agencies in the DFW area. Matter of fact, they're still open. One of them, the biggest one, is still open till this day.
Really?
Yeah, my brother runs that. It is now, yeah.
That's 100%. Amazing. That's amazing.
And so that's kind of like how the Mike the Businessman thing came up. It started from, I was 21, 22 when I started.
When you did that?
When I did that.
Oh, wow.
Right? Then move over time, got into real estate, had properties. I got into the telecommunication industry where I was setting up cell phone towers for telecommunication companies. So it's just an evolution. I've owned a restaurant. I've owned an electronics store.
Okay. I see the businessman then. That's it.
Yeah, that's where it goes. Yes, sir.
That is so interesting. You talk about telecommunication towers and stuff. Yeah. What's that about? That's completely different from what you do today. How did that start?
That was a unique opportunity actually I got. So when back in 2007, I was presented with an opportunity. My sister was working for a cell phone tower. Right, a cell phone company called Visaphone in Nigeria.
Okay.
I was here in Farmers Branch. Well, I was in Carrollton, Texas at the time. Okay. So when she got that job, we were just brainstorming, and we noticed that Visaphone was trying to expand their coverage in Nigeria. So they needed to acquire cell phone towers all over the country, and they were having issues where they would put towers places and thieves would go vandalize the towers.
The BTS.
Right, so it was a problem she was complaining about. So we brainstormed like, hey, how about we go meet the police? Offer to put these towers in the police stations. All right, you're in Visaphone. I pitch it to you guys. If you guys like it, I'll go close it. I will go travel the entire country and go
find these locations.
Find every single police station that's safe where you guys can put your towers.
Okay,
and I'll market it to you guys.
Straight problem solving.
She's like, if you can do that, I'll lock in my part, lock the police part. So we've got some connects, locked it down with the police, got a monopoly signed with them, an exclusive agreement signed with the Nigerian police force, and they gave the firm the contract.
Wow.
They gave it to us, bro. Like that was the first time I started making big money. That's when the millions started coming in. That was the first time I made the most money in my life. Bought my first Ferrari, all of that.
Oh wow. What kind of Ferrari?
I had a Ferrari California, 2011.
Nice.
Red drop top convertible. Beauty.
Nice.
Beauty. That's when it started. I had a Range Rover too. So that's when it started. And so that did well for many years and it was recurring revenue. That's the beautiful thing about it. Every year, they're renewing the leases, or every 5 years.
Yeah, right.
But then, as you know, corruption in Africa, right? Once the bigwigs in the Nigerian police heard about it, they all wanted their hands in it. And I was okay with that, right? For a while, till recently, we had one that came in and he just forcefully took it from us.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that is so insane because you being a Nigerian, going back home, you're solving a critical problem for the telecoms industry. Thinking about the year you're talking about, that was really when the boom was happening, 2007, 2008.
Yep.
And you solve a problem that makes things better, but then you get kicked out because of corruption.
Unfortunately.
Has that influenced how you think about maybe giving back home to like your roots in Nigeria?
I hate to say it. Till today, I've still got so many investments in Nigeria. I own a housing estate. I'm a joint partner in a housing estate, almost over 200 properties in Nigeria.
Nice.
In a part of Lagos, Ipeju-Lekki.
Okay.
I had over almost 50 plots there.
Oh wow.
I had to, after this happened, I was so disillusioned in Nigeria.
I got rid of almost everything. Oh wow!
I got rid of except the only properties I still have. I have a penthouse in Abuja, and then I have a huge plot of land that I intend to go build an apartment complex there because that's worth a lot of money.
Yeah.
Those are the only things I've kept because at least Abuja I can control. Abuja is a little bit more safe, more than other parts.
Yeah.
And that's the only stuff I've kept. It just disillusioned me. I'm sorry. They arrested my staff, bro.
Really?
My staff went to go explain ourselves to the police. They didn't
this
even
is
listen
what we're doing. So the same police, at least from an organizational perspective, the same police that you're in partnership with
100%.
to do this are the same ones who...
The DIG, the Deputy Inspector General of Police that did this whole thing, he was about to retiring like a month later.
Oh, so that was
guessing
his
he was
retirement
looking for a retirement fund.
Wow.
And he wanted my business. He already had this pre-planned. It was a setup. The second we walked into a setup.
Oh, wow.
They arrested my guy. Before I knew, they didn't lock him up in a jail cell. Within a week, he was sent to prison.
Oh my God.
He spent almost a month and a half in prison.
That's quick.
So false charges.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. Has that event in any way made you a better businessman? Yeah. Either from a pre-planning, from a strategic approach, and how has that influenced how you make maybe decisions, the kind of business, the assessment of the risk, the possibilities, all that?
100%. I mean, I think, just like you said, from a risk perspective now, right? I think also I'm maybe partly to blame too, because my focus almost started to shift here.
Because it felt like it was established there already.
And so I wasn't actively cultivating those relationships. You look here in America, people might listen to this and say, oh man, you were in cahoots with the police, or you can't do that stuff. It happens every day here in America. Yeah. It's called lobbying. It's called lobbying.
Absolutely.
Right? As a matter of fact, every state has lobbyists. Organizations have lobbyists in Washington that do this for them all day, every day. I just wasn't actively doing that, cultivating those relationships. Yeah. If I was, this wouldn't have happened. So that's a learning lesson for me, number one. And number two is just making sure that, I have all my agreements airtight. Yeah. That way things like this don't happen to me in the future.
That's good. So how did you start? I know you're the owner of an exotic car rental company.
Yes, sir.
What's the name of the company?
MTB Exotics.
MTB
Mike
Exotics.
the businessman, MTB.
And you're based only in Dallas for now.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Are you thinking about expanding? Is that coming down the pipeline?
Yeah, most likely if I ever do expand, it would expand with me. Wherever, if I intend to leave the Dallas market personally, move my family somewhere else, then that would be the next logical step. Cities that come to mind, maybe Atlanta, Miami have been calling me. If it does happen, those would be or Arizona for some reason has been calling me.
Okay, good.
Scottsdale.
So how did you start MTB? Was MTB a result of what happened with the BTS stations and then you moved into this, or was there something else you did in between?
Yeah. 100%. So while I was working, when I left Nigeria, I came back to the US, I got into corporate America. While I was doing that, only reason why I was comfortable with my corporate salary is because I knew I was getting the recurring revenue from back home, right? Because they pay yearly, every 5 years or whatever. So that I would get this huge windfall of money. So I don't care about the peanuts I was making for corporate America. But when I lost that.
By the way, how much were you, if you don't mind?
Corporate America?
Yeah.
So my base was like 120, and then they had a bonus of like an extra 20 or something like that.
You just called $120 peanuts.
So, I was just saying. I'm not.
Give me an idea of the kind of money you were making back then. Okay, that's good.
And funny enough, I had 2 or 3 of those. I had 2. We're working remote, so I had like 2 or 3 jobs at the same time.
Interesting.
Right. Yeah. So, but for me, it was more like I love the lump sum money. Giving me $300,000 spread out over a year is no money for me. Like I'll go broke. I'll go bankrupt. But so I get the windfalls from Nigeria. Yeah. So I don't care about my salary. Yeah. So when I lost that, then that's when that beast started to tug at me. Like, we need to get out of this comfort zone. Let's go find something to do. And then that's when I started seeking mentorship. I started getting in different circles. And then I saw people doing car rentals, and they were successful. I was looking through all these Facebook groups, all of that, seeing what they were doing, seeing their errors and their mistakes. And I saw that I had a unique advantage that none of them did. I used to own an auto insurance agency.
Yeah.
I knew insurance in and out. Because a lot of them, when I'm looking through the threads or comments, their number one question was always insurance.
Yeah, it's a big part of the rental business.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I understand. I bleed insurance. Then risk. At the end of the day, car rentals is all about risk.
Yeah.
How do I meet you for the first time, hand you over the keys to my car, it doesn't matter if it's a $5,000 car or a $500,000 car, and know for certain that car is going to come back safely? It's risk. That's what risk is about.
Absolutely.
Putting the right controls in place, right? To either transfer the risk to an insurance company, avoid the risk, or reduce the risk level, right? So that's what I did. I just took my tech and cyber operational risk management experience from corporate America.
Okay.
I put those controls in place in my business to where now we are, I boldly say it now. Before I used to say we were the top 3 car rental company in Dallas. I feel like we're now, at least we're top 2.
Nice.
In the state now.
That's amazing.
Yeah, 100%.
That's amazing.
In the DFW area. 100%.
Okay. So tell me about your fleet of cars. Like, what kind of cars do you have available in your fleet of cars?
Yeah, 100%.
Are they all like exotics or?
Right. So funny enough, throughout since I started, right? When I started, I had a mix. I had some economy cars, I had luxury cars, and I had exotics. Then after a while, when we started to grow, I noticed that there was a little bit of friction in in my marketing, where I spend my marketing, right? Because who do I appeal to? Am I marketing to attract someone like you that's more of the Lamborghini customer, or should I spend my marketing dollars on maybe the dollar store, the Walmart customer that just wants a point A to point B car? It was causing some friction, so I decided to liquidate all my lower end cars and focus on the customers like you, because in sales, there's low ticket, there's high ticket. I like high ticket sales better, right? I feel like it takes the same amount of effort to acquire a customer like you that's willing to pay me $1,600 or $2,000 a day for a car. Same amount of effort. Matter of fact, less effort than I get more problems from the $50 a day customer than I do from the you have no idea. The $50 a day customer, that's the last money they had. They will, the second they hear anything, any squeak,
like any extra calls,
they calling you constantly. The Lambo customers, they drive these cars on a daily basis. They don't have any issues. They have a flat tire, they will go fix it and tell you, oh yeah, I just pumped the tire, that's fine.
Oh, wow.
It's just a higher level clientele. So
makes sense.
I focus on that now.
Makes sense. So you mentioned Lambo. I know you have a Lambo in your fleet. What other kind of cars, just in case someone is in the DFW area, you're trying to say, okay, I want to get a couple of cars or a type of car. What kind of cars do you have?
So we have everything from all your major brands, right? So we got the Lamborghinis, the Huracans, Uruses, several Uruses in the fleets, several Huracans. We've got the Bentleys. If you want the Bentegas, you want the GTs. We've got the McLarens, the 720 that we just added to the fleet, 720S.
Oh, nice.
570 GT in the fleet. What other exotic Rolls Royces we have access to? I don't personally own a Rolls Royce, but I have access to the Ghosts. I can give to my clientele if they need those for their proms and things like that. And then we even slightly lower, we have like your Corvette C8s. We have BMW i8s. So several of them that we have in the fleet, And then now, what I'm most excited about is we got the Tesla truck. We are the first. As of today, April the 6th or 7th. We are the first rental. Tesla, we are the first car rental agent business in Dallas, Texas that has a Tesla Cybertruck. So
wow, I might come rent that because I just want to see what it feels like just driving the car.
Amazing car. I saw a viral video today on Instagram. Apparently, there's a feature that they've released on it where it almost like you could drive through several inches of like rainwater. Like if the road's flooded, there's a way it lifts up the car.
Wow.
And there's a new update coming out to where it could float almost on water for a certain amount of time. It's the truck's amazing. It's amazing. Insane. It's amazing. Let's have another sip.
Yes.
Yeah, there you go.
Cheers.
Cheers, man. It's good stuff, man.
I think that's definitely worth saying. You have the first Cybertruck in your fleet in a rental company in DFW. A lot of people are curious about that. Yep. So what's booking like on that? You seen people show a lot of interest on that?
Yeah, 100%. Funny you mentioned that, right? Like I put out a video on my Instagram because every now and then, like there's trolls. When you start to get a following, you attract the haters and the trolls, right? And some people have the school of thought that you ignore them. That's the best way. Just ignore the haters, right? And I've always done that for years. But then lately, these trolls are in my DM saying, "Oh no, you can't rent a car for $1,000. Nobody will pay you that. You can't rent a car for $1,500. Hell no, he's lying. It's all cap." So I had to prove him wrong.
Bro, receipts.
Bro, we do this stuff on a daily basis.
Yeah, I'm not absolutely.
We do this.
Yeah.
I showed him how we had the Tesla Cybertruck. I believe we got that on a Sunday or a Monday. Sunday. By Wednesday, we had the trackers put in. Everything was ready to rent the car out. The next day, customer took that car for almost 5-6 days, paying us $1,600 a day.
Wow.
16. Matter of fact, the video I posted online was only half of it. He extended for almost another week, paying us $16.99 every single day, and I posted that stuff live on Instagram.
Wow.
And my shop's receipts. I got the stripe. You see the stripe codes, everything.
You see everything.
There's no cap. So
wow, that's amazing. That's amazing.
That's been a very successful one for us.
Okay, so I've seen you drive a couple of your cars.
Yeah.
But I know you have way more than that.
Yeah.
And a lot of people assume to get into a business, you have to have a crazy passion for that particular thing.
Right.
Tell me if I'm wrong. I read you to be more of a guy who is passionate about entrepreneurship, business, willing to take the challenge, start any. There's probably almost, if it's ethical, you're probably someone that can make it happen.
100%.
So in you starting the car business, did it have anything to do with you being geeked out about cars or being passionate about cars? Or you just looked at the market and you were like, this is a good business model that I have, and boom, I'm going to go at it?
My man, you got a Performante. I got a few haircuts. I couldn't tell you the difference between.
You're perfect. I thought so.
If it did not have that sticker, that says perfect, I would not know. I couldn't tell you the difference between a 6-cylinder car, Ace. I could no. And unfortunately, people see me, they see my cars, and they start geeking out with me. They think I understand what
all the cars.
I don't know any of that. I don't care to know. All I know is like I hate to use this phrase, but I'm pimping these cars out. That's all I care about. Go make me some money. Right. I don't care. And that's the way I am with business. Period. Like. I have another turf equipment business that and I don't like to talk about it much because I like that to be my little private thing. But it is down and dirty in the weeds. But guess what? My margins are almost 2-3x.
Wow!
And I love it. It's so low key. I have found a way to automate it to where I hardly touch it.
Okay.
And I just get Shopify alerts every time I get sales. It's not a sexy niche. That's why I don't have it on Instagram. But you
make the money
because I post that nobody's going. Even I won't get any views.
Yeah.
But it's bro. That's the type of stuff I like.
Okay.
And lately I've been in these circles, man, and I'm seeing different things that people tap into, like unsexy things, business ideas that nobody would ever look at.
That is so true.
A killing.
Yeah, I met someone and we were talking. We met in the car club, and we're having a conversation. I was like, "What do you do?" He said, "I sell trash bags."
There you go.
I'm like. I laughed. I was like that's like, what do you do? I was like, I sell trash bags.
Yeah.
It was like the Krogers, the Walmarts, the company on the back end that is building all this thing and just slapping the labels or whatever. It was like, I'm a part owner of that company. I was like,
there you
whoa.
Go. Look at that.
What a unique way to introduce you. Is that I sell trash bags, but I pulled up in a McLaren 720.
There you go. But it's funny you mentioned this. As we were driving here for this podcast interview, right? Yeah. At the intersection of Preston and PGA Parkway, there's a guy in a Ford Mustang. It's like a new Ford Mustang, right? But then he has this big sticker saying, I sell honey, and he's got a table in front with bottles of honey.
Wow!
Immediately, he's out there. It's like almost 90 degrees outside, and in my initial reaction, we were surprised and we almost laughed. But then I had to pause. I'm like, I bet you this guy is making at least 10 to 20,000 monthly recurring revenue
from this.
From that, because guess what? The people that buy organic honey, once they find a brand, they're buying that every month. He's got them on a subscription.
Fact.
Y'all laughing at Buddy. It doesn't look sexy. But he's probably making a killing.
Probably.
Those are I would happily invest in businesses like that all day, every day.
Okay, cool. That's amazing. That's amazing. Sir. So let me ask you this. Thinking about your trail, you being passionate about business, interest in business. I've heard a lot of people talk about there's a good side to focusing on what you're passionate about. There's also a downside. Because you can be stuck being passionate about something that is not a good business model that will translate.
Right.
Or it's not something that is sellable.
100%.
So what do you think is the good spot, the sweet spot between I'm passionate about this and maybe, I just have to work hard and do this because, I got to take care of my family or whatever.
Now, very good question. I think there's two schools of thought to that. Like, I think in America, we've been sold this lie that, you must do what you love. Yeah. Right? So everybody's looking for that business opportunity. It rarely ever translates that well. All right? We have to separate our love for something from the business of it. Right?
Wait, that's a bar.
Yeah.
Separate
your love
for something
from the business of it. Right? Let's say you own a bakery, you make pies. You love making pies, but you're in the business of selling pies. It's two separate things. All right? You can make the best pie all you want. If you don't know how to sell that pie, you're going to flop. Right? So it's two separate things. So it's also understanding that. And then the next thing is it scalable? Right? Now I'm starting to evolve in my business acumen to where now, before I get into any business, what's the scale potential of this? Is this something that caps out at 20,000 a month, 30,000 a month, $1 million a year, or can this go bigger worldwide? Can I go from a stage 1 to a stage 2 company? And by that I mean stage 1 companies are companies that make anywhere from $0 to $1 million. Stage 2 is $1 million to $10 million. Is this scalable?
Where will this business cap out?
Or does it cap out? Right, so you have to make those assessments initially,
early
at the beginning of the business, so that way you have a thriving business that you can even exit. You can sell to somebody. Wow. Those are very important things that now, as I've matured as a business person, those are things that
you've learned, that you see that there's more value in doing this groundwork before
100%.
you actually get into
100%.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yep.
As a father of 2 beautiful girls,
yes, sir,
and an amazing wife.
Yes, sir.
I met your wife before. She's amazing.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. He who findeth a good wife findeth a good thing.
Fat bar.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So, what motivates you outside of family?
Yeah.
Is there anything outside of family that motivates you?
Yeah, so outside of my immediate family, my mom too, making sure my mom is taken care of. And beyond that is this desire to give back, specifically. And I hate to keep bringing it back to family, but also, us, we have that Nigerian side to us. So
it's the good side.
Roots,
yeah,
right?
the fact that we always think about families, yeah.
And you don't have a choice. They call us all day long
facts.
on WhatsApp. Extended family, people that just around the way, like you grew up with their, hey, can you send me money for Easter? Every holiday, they want
you gotta send money, yeah. Your birthday too, you gotta send money.
On your birthday, you gotta send money. You know how that works, right? So that's another thing too, right? It's that tug that I have to give back where I came from. And then bigger than that too, it's just for me, there's a beast, Grant Cardone. He has a book called Be Obsessed or Be Average. And he talks about this beast. There's a lot of us that are creatives or entrepreneurs, there's that beast inside of us. And you've got to feed it. I'm an anime junkie. If you've ever watched Naruto, he had the nine-tailed beast inside of him, right?
That was clamped down.
Yeah, clamped down. Like, you know what I'm saying? You have to unleash that beast sometimes, and I have to feed that desire. I was working a 9 to 5. I thought maybe, I wanted to give my wife the American dream, the white picket fence thingy, and it almost killed me. Wow. I tried doing that for a few years, and I almost died because the beast was dormant, and it started to show itself in me getting sick. Constantly getting sick all the time, and we couldn't figure it out why.
Wow.
And it's just because that beast, I was suppressing my real self. But now that I left that world and went into the world of entrepreneurship, and feeding that beast, that's when I'm more alive.
Okay, so you do believe that has a correlation with your health, like your
100%,
state of health, like
100%.
you doing exactly what you see as maybe like a calling,
100%,
something in you.
Yes, sir.
Can you call that a calling, like to establish a business, to be an entrepreneur? Like, does that give you a sense of this is a calling?
I mean, I can't speak for everybody, but I just know how I'm wired, and my brain doesn't shut off. That beast, that tugging in me, it doesn't stop. Like, it's constantly pushing me for more, and that's when I'm in the thick of that. That's when I'm most happiest. Like, that's why it's not. Some people could work all day long and their families, they're exhausted. For me, it's like, I enjoy it. Okay. Because I'm feeding me. So it's a different, I don't know.
So I can see in you even talking about it, like your expression in it, like I can feel like the energy coming from you. And so speaking about that, there are several people that cannot handle that as a partner.
100%.
There are several people that want stability. There are a couple of people that think entrepreneurship, owning your business is the way. People think steady, come on, 9 to 5, 401k, all that good stuff is the way.
Right.
So not everybody can handle that kind of person.
Right.
What has helped you and your partner be successful in you being able to be you while you guys are successful together?
100%. Very good question, man. And I think what was good with us was she met me doing this. Okay. I sold her insurance. I was at my insurance agency in Fort Worth off of West Hewlin Drive, and she called me on the phone wanting to buy insurance.
She was hot, man.
Huh? Yeah, she was hot. License was suspended. She needed an SR22. She needed a hookup. She had all kinds of tickets, and she came in and I hooked her up. Gave her my business card, like, hey, give me a call if you want to
hook yourself up.
There you go. And literally the next day we went out on the first date. Wow. That's it, bro. The rest was history. Wow. And so she saw me in my entrepreneurial, in my zone of genius, right? And just speaking of that, I think that's the key thing, right? It's just your partner understanding who you are and knowing, okay, this is history. This is zone of genius. Let him be in that space. Let her be in that space and respect that. Be respectful of that. She's always seen me in that space. And then she saw what I looked like when I tried to get out from that and do the corporate America thing to, go out with my lunchbox and come home at 5 p.m. She saw it was killing me, right? And
I can't be doing with the lunchbox.
Yeah, bro, like that's what we were doing in corporate America, right? You pack your lunch, you go facts. And she saw me doing that, and she saw the effect it had on me, and so the second I told her, like, hey, I want to go back. It wasn't a fight. She knew.
She knew that was where.
Go do that, and so it took her some time to get herself ready, because naturally she's not that type of person. It took her some time to now start to get into that mindset to where now she also helps in my businesses, and now she's fully entrenched in them now.
Oh wow!
And now she's starting to discover.
So it's a real legit family business.
100% now. Yes, it is. Yes, it's evolved into that. Yes.
Do you think your daughters are they young or old enough for you to be able to tell they have that trait, that entrepreneurship trait?
True story. So my youngest is kind of like a genius. She's smarter than all of us in the house. Makes us look stupid. She's been in how many spelling bees, all of that.
Oh wow!
And yeah, so she's like an amazing, like literally a year ago, this girl could not even doodle for nothing, right? But then her older sister was becoming an artist, like learned how to draw. This girl challenged, she got jealous, and literally within a month or two, my daughter went from being on, she could hardly even draw a straight line. Now she draws like masterpiece anime drawing, like she could draw anything, like anime characters, all of that stuff, amazing at drawing manga stuff, right? And guess what? She went to her principal of her school. She created a company she created I didn't know anything about this. She created a slideshow, pitched an idea to the principal. Wow. She wants to start selling her artwork to students in school. And bro, this is a girl that's only fourth grade or something. And she's not selling this for 50 cents. She's not selling this for 50. No, she's taxing them $20, $20, $30 a pop. Wow. And guess what? They approved it. They let her put banners all over the cafeteria area. And she hired herself a sales team.
No way. Are you serious?
Bro, she got a sales team of marketers going out meeting kids during recess.
Okay.
And I don't even give her pocket money. We go to the store, she got her own money.
She's like, yeah, I don't need.
She got her own money.
Like, hey, you gotta do the dishes before you don't worry about it.
I can't even get her to do it doesn't work. Like, hey, $5, no, that's no money. Like that's So she's caught the
your youngest daughter.
My youngest one, and then my oldest one, she wants to join the business eventually. She can't wait till she can start driving, coming to work to help out where she can. 100%.
That's okay. So you guys are building a real,
hopefully a dynasty. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Your family. Yes, sir. Okay, that's good. So for people who are thinking about, I know you mentor people around the space of them starting their own rental company. Emphasis on private rental company, not something under Turo or one of those folks, right? What's the difference?
Gotcha. So that's kind of like my claim to fame, right? Like I started this, for those of you guys that don't know, right? In the car rental space, you can you have apps out there like Turo. There's an app called Turo, Hire Car, Get Around, and these are like the Airbnb for car rentals, right? You go on the app, you can rent out your car, and people, whatever. The problem with those apps is you're giving a lot of your coins to a third party. That app, they take almost anywhere up to 40% of your money. I don't know about you, but I don't like sharing my coins with nobody, right?
If I can keep it, I'll keep it.
Exactly. So
Show me away.
That was my claim to fame. Like I came into the space and I'm like, because I figured I tried to do the Turo thing. I barely did it for 6 months, and I barely made $20,000. I'm like, forget this crap. Like any business that's predicated or dependent on an algorithm, there's no skill there. It's the algorithm. You're at the mercy of the algorithm. I don't care any guru out there that tells you they've mastered Turo. They're liars. All right, they're liars. It's just the algorithm. Okay, but with private rentals, where I'm renting directly to customer, that is a skill, and that's teachable and transferable, and that's scalable. And I keep 100% of my bread. And not only that, I can also exit and sell that business. It was a no-brainer because you have a book of business. I have customer names, phone numbers, and emails.
A whole database of
exactly. With these apps, you don't have any of that. They keep all that.
Oh, you don't own that?
No, they keep you. All you know is the customer's name. That's it. They keep everything else. So why am I doing all this hustling? And then the second the app bans me or blocks me because some customer lied on me, you're out of business. I would not. That's a waste of my time. So that's what I teach people, how you guys could take your car. It doesn't matter what it is. An economy car you pay for $2,000 for. It doesn't even have to be your car if you don't have a car, but you know other people that have cars, right? You can learn how to broker their vehicle, joint venture with them, rent their cars out, and make very good money on the side. It's one of the best side income gigs that you guys can get into because it's something that's sitting in your driveway that you hardly use.
Okay, so just to get an idea of what that looks like, what is your best, how much have you made in your best month financially and your worst month? Because I know it's probably up and down in the car rental. Strictly nothing extra, just the car rental space.
Yeah, I think the best month we've had in the car rental space is probably going to be somewhere close to 80 to 100,000 a month.
Wait, what?
Probably in the past 2-3 months we probably hit that. I haven't been looking at the numbers because I don't manage that as much. I handle the academy side of things, but we've had a super year, phenomenal year, and I think we're probably doing anywhere up to $70,000.
You said that too quick. I don't think I heard you right.
Yeah, 70 to 100K
in a month.
I haven't. Hold on. Now you got me thinking because
in the car. Really?
No, pause. So let's do the math. So I have a Huracan that's out, and Buddy's paying us $17,000 a month. He's had it since November. I've got a Mercedes.
Wait, $16,000 a month?
Yeah, we discounted it, gave it to him at $17,000 a month because he had and then we have a G63 that's been out for almost 2 months. We have a Tahoe that's been out paying us $10,000 a month for almost 4 months now. We got a Corvette. I haven't seen my C8 Corvette since January. Buddy's paying me about $11,000-$12,000 a month.
Okay, so there's a level of like steady, even if one or two are not doing so great, the other two are doing great. So you really have a healthy income bro. In that business.
My entire overhead from my exotic car rental company, and we're going to talk about that more, but my entire overhead is barely $90-something, $10,000 a month for my car rental business. Right? I think it's between $10,000 and $12,000 a month. One car covers that for me. Everything else is house money.
Is insurance in that
That's
overhead?
Everything. That's everything included. Wow. All my expenses. I've been able to cut off a lot of the fat. I've learned the game so well now to where now I've evolved to where before when I started, it was let's amass all these cars. I was buying cars. Oh, my entire fleet I owned. Now I've evolved to where I don't need, I've gotten a brand name now. I don't need to buy cars anymore. People bring cars to us
now. The broker model.
People call regularly, sending pictures. They want to bring their cars in my fleet. So now that reduces my exposure level.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't even sell all my cars tomorrow.
Absolutely.
I'll just rent out other people's cars. And now we've got such a nice facility. We have a restaurant and bars in the facility we're in now to where people come in and they're just amazed by the facility. They'll happily handle, here's all my cars. And we have the processes and procedures. It's a well-oiled machine now. And we're very professional with it to where, like, you could wreck my car. We come there, we're empathizing. Are you okay?
Yeah.
Here's another Lambo. Hey, sorry about that. Keep going. We'll take care of the mess here for you.
Oh, wow.
That's when you know you've evolved, right? I go on these Facebook groups and I see people, screaming and shouting, this customer smoked in my car, and they're cursing out the customer. You don't do that. You never do that. Because for us, retention is that's how you build retention. That getting that 5-star review, that is so important to us. Like, we would lose money to keep that customer happy because we're looking long term. The lifetime value of the customer now. It's not because of one incident, right? So we have to get to the level of maturity where you're not looking at just that. That's how you grow.
So I'm not too into that industry, but I haven't heard anyone outside of you really do it and successfully do it around that model of where you have the brokerage with other people.
Right.
Is that still a niche and profitable industry to get into right now? Like, 100%. If people want to make that side money, is it still
100%? I know brokers in this Dallas, Texas that don't own a single car, and they're making thousands every month.
Wow.
Brokering other people's cars. They know someone like you have a Performante. Hey, Toast, I got a customer here. He wants a perf for 2-3 days. I'll pay you $3,000 for it. Sure. And they get 20% of that. I know young kids making thousands every month
doing that.
Brokering. There's several ways to do it. Like, you could just leverage your social currency. People that have cars, rent out their vehicles. Some people take it a step further. They go build websites, put a bunch of nice cars that are in demand on the website. They don't own any of these cars, but they put a bunch of them. Instead, they go invest in SEO, search engine optimization.
Yeah.
That's how your website ranks high on Google.
On the list.
So every time somebody goes to a city, exotic car or luxury car, economy car for rent in Idaho, your website pops up
first.
They call you. You don't own any of these cars, but you know people that have them. You send the business to them, you get a commission.
That's wild.
I have brokers that are making thousands from us every week. Doing that model.
That's wild.
One of my biggest brokers, I know for a fact, I ain't gonna mention his name, but I know I'm paying for his penthouse in Dallas, downtown Dallas. I know I'm paying his rent. And then he knows who he is. He's probably laughing watching this right now. And I love that. I love that. For matter of fact, I want you to buy that penthouse. And you keep rocking with me, by the end of the year, you will.
Wow. That's amazing. So I know you teach people how to start their own business. So what's that like? What's the training? How can they reach out to you? All that good information.
Yeah, so I've been doing the car rental thing for several years, right? And then people kept DMing me all the time, like, hey man, how do I start this? How do I get into this? And I never really thought about doing it till I ran into one of my mentors was like, why not? Like, digitize your knowledge and teach that to other people. Like, matter of fact, you're doing a disservice. You have a God-given purpose to share that with other people. Like, you not making that offer to other people is doing them a disservice because they're out there looking for somebody trustworthy to do that with, and you're denying them that opportunity.
So I want to touch on that.
Yeah.
People who know enough and are well experienced and knowledgeable in certain fields, having that personal, I want to be behind the scene. I don't want to put myself out there. Did you struggle with that? And how did you overcome it? Or if there's somebody struggling, how do you advise they can overcome that?
100%. And it's that gatekeeper mentality, right? Or maybe you just you're introverted and you don't think that you can do this. I struggled with that. I didn't think I could do all of this stuff, right? Who knew I could go to news stations and do podcasts and all of these things? But it's a preparation too. I would say if you feel like you're introverted, you can fix that. Right? There's Toastmasters in every city. Most businesses, most organizations have Toastmaster chapters. I was a Toastmaster. Go through that. Learn how to speak in public, right?
Yeah.
Keep working on yourself. Self-development has been so key for me. Like you ask my wife and my kids, I read at least 2 to 3 books a week. I'm constant, and I listen to everything on 2x speed. They think I'm crazy. That's how I'm able to consume more, right? So I like reading my books in audiobook format. So I have Audible subscriptions, so Spotify audiobook subscriptions, constantly reading these books, right? And that's how you just increase your knowledge and you're able to develop yourself, right? So don't get too caught up on your imperfections, right? Nobody's perfect out there.
Yeah, I think that's important. Yeah,
nobody is. You'd be surprised. Most of these big names you see out there, they're shaking behind the scenes before they come out there to speak to you guys, right? This book by Michael Masterson, right? Ready, Fire, Aim. Ready, Aim, Fire. It was so impactful for me because it's like it's ready, fire, then you aim. A lot of people want to. Everything has to be perfect.
They want to do it, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Let me aim first, then take my shot. No, take your shot now. Success loves speed, right? Like, Don't. The chips are never going to be perfect.
Yeah.
Speed to market, speed to lead, speed to execution.
Yeah.
It's so key, and I think that's one of the things that I have perfected. I'm not a young buck. I'm not 20 no more. I don't have y'all's time. You like right now. You give me a bar. I'm executing it tonight.
Yeah.
That's just the way I am. And I've seen that that's been one of the biggest things that have been able to take me to where I'm at today. So I just encourage other people that maybe are thinking about it. Like, whatever it is you want to do, I would say go seek out mentorship. That's been one of the biggest game changers for me in my life. There's three monumental moments in my life where mentorship helped me. I went to a conference in Miami that changed my life back in 2019. Pivotal conference, the information I got, mentorship I got there changed my life. That was the first uptick in my life in recent years. A second one, I was in Dubai at another conference. I met a gentleman, my man Dion Cooper, shout out to you, put me onto some game. I took my business to my coaching academy to the next level. That's how we were able to almost do $1 million from March to December of last year. All right, my coaching business went from barely making $10,000 a month to making almost $100,000 every month, right? And then I just came back from Boise, Idaho. Once again, mentorship, all right? And these are not cheap mentorships. These are like $50K mentorships, right? But the information I just came back from right now, I just got right now, that I'm about to execute, I already know that's taking me to the next level, right? So mentorship, bro, is so key. When I see people that they scoff at it, they won't. You go pay a college $100,000 for a degree you'll never use, right? People don't realize that you pay that, but then if somebody tells you, pay me $1,000 for information you can execute tomorrow and make money. Oh hell no, you're a scammer. Give it to me for free. I don't understand that. It's a disc. I don't. I can't logic. I can't fathom it. You want to go do car runs, you don't know what to do. Here's a room with people executing at a high level. Come here and learn. Oh no, then give it to me for free. Restrictions. If you don't pay, you don't pay attention. That's what they say, right?
It does.
Mentorship is so key. Okay. It's all the biggest strides I've made in my life was from mentorship. Now I've got a mentor, a good friend of mine, I call him a friend-tor, and just a game
that's
he's giving me.
That's a new word, a friend-tor.
Right. And he's into e-com, and he's branching out into industrial real estate. And just the amount of knowledge he's giving me, just hearing from him, now telling me plays to take me to the next level. These are the people that playing in the $10 million range and above. Yeah. And I'm just soaking that in. You need that. You got to be close to the campfire, bro.
Facts.
Otherwise, you can freeze.
That's true. Okay. So I needed to pause you to actually get this information out of you because I know you're heavy on execution and things like that. So thanks for that. So back to what I asked you earlier about how people can reach out to you, what channels, how can they get this information, this courses, this training or mentorship that you provide in this niche space.
100%. Yeah. So on my Instagram at Mike_the_businessman, or on YouTube, you guys, there's free game on there. Maybe you don't have the money to invest. There's a lot of free game on there. Soak that in, right? But once you're ready to invest in yourself, take that step up. We have different products for you guys. We have ebooks, we have courses, we have a mentorship, my high ticket mentorship. You guys can join. But if you want to work with me one-on-one in group setting. And definitely, the aim is to within 60 days, we work with 9-to-5ers and motivated entrepreneurs, and we'll help them set up a highly successful private car rental business within 60 days. Or you get your money
help them set it up.
If you come into my mentorship within 60 days, if you don't make profit within 60 days, I'll even refund the money you paid me.
Wow.
Right. So I hold my mentees accountable. You need to success, love, speed. Let's go.
Okay.
Let's go.
Oh wow, that's amazing. Okay, so Mike the Businessman.
Mike_the_businessman on Instagram and YouTube. Yep.
Okay. Yep. Great. And links to your course and all of that can be seen through that. Okay. Gotcha. My last question for you.
Yes, sir.
Hey, for someone out there, I want to do something for myself. Might not be a beast, but there's a little in them. Potentially could grow into becoming that beast.
Yeah.
That I want to have a source of income, 100%. Or hey, I want to start a business. It doesn't have to be in the car rental company. What are like 3? It doesn't have to be 3, but what are like 3 advices or points or concerns that you feel you can tell them from your historic? You were in telecoms, you did insurance, from all of that. 3 lessons for someone who is thinking about starting their business.
Oh, perfect. That's a very good question. I think the first question I'm going to give, first advice I'll give is understand credit. Go get your credit right. This is 2024. Financial literacy is so key. Like the people, unfortunately, especially in the urban communities, right? A lot of us were raised cash is king, right? Cash is king. A lot of people.
And our background, we're Nigerians. Everything was, you pay cash.
And they used to brag about that, right? But then that's how you stay small. Right? Or we would ignore that the people like the Dangotes, they use credit. They go to banks, the banks give them a lot of money. That's how you scale, even in those countries, right? Here, I have not met a millionaire here in America that's all cash. They're all heavily leveraged. But guess what? They're not leveraging debt and wasting it on consumer stuff like drinks. No, they're leveraging debt on income producing assets, things that are producing money on a monthly basis. It is okay to go into debt $1 million if you have a business that's making you $100,000, $200,000 every month, $300,000 a month. That is good debt. All right, not consumer debt. So that's number 1. Go clean your credit. All right, credit repair works. Find a reputable credit repair company. Clean your personal credit and tap into business credit. That is where your business will explode overnight. Go get business credit. Go research SBA loans. That will change the trajectory of your business overnight. All right. That's going to be number 1. Number 2 is I'm going to say go seek out mentorship. Go seek out. It's the quickest way to collapse time. I'm sorry. I know it might sound cliche, but find you a friend to pay for a mentor, because here's the thing too, right? Don't DM people. Don't DM mentors. Nobody has a time. Like rich people, wealthy people, the only thing they value the most is time, because the one thing they can't buy. So they don't have the time to sit down here helping you understand how to clean your credit
when they're trying to grow their own business.
When they're trying to grow, they got their own family. They got a bunch of things waiting for them. They don't have the time for that. All right. So if you pay though for their programs, they will help you collapse the time. All right. All the biggest leaps I've ever taken in my life came from that. And maybe if I had to choose a third thing, I'm going to say a third thing is it's going to be audit your circle. Who are you hanging out around? All right. When I first started, I used to hang out with a lot of had friends and neighbors I'd hang out with, but they weren't speaking my language now. They weren't speaking life to the beast inside of me, right? And so I noticed something would happen when I would go to Atlanta, because in Atlanta there's a lot of entrepreneurs out there, and I go to Atlanta, go to places like Boise, Idaho, and I'm around those circles, and my beast,
it's different.
The beast is the beast is lit up. It's a different vibe, and with the people around me, that my old friends, they would always just like, the worst thing you could do is share a big idea to a small-minded person. They kill it immediately. All right. When I share my ideas, like, I want to start a car rental company. Oh man, are you sure the FBI is not going to come after you? Somebody actually said that to me.
Wow.
I started my car rental business. We're in a bar. I won't forget this. My wife could bear me witness. We're at a bar. I'm telling some of my old friends about the cars I have and things like that. They asked me the question. I don't normally tell them that. They asked me about my business, and I told them about that. First thing one of them said is, hasn't the FBI come to your house yet? Because they couldn't understand how I went to driving a regular car and then a year later I had all of this.
Oh wow!
In your mind, I must have been doing something illegal.
Okay,
right? So that's what I mean when I say a small-minded person. You have to get out of those circles.
Wow.
People that when you tell them about a business opportunity, the first thing out their mouth is all the negatives and the risks. You have to get away from all of that. You have to go get away from go around people that are executing on a high level, doing where you want to be at, and that they can help you get there. So those would be the 3 tidbits of advice.
That's amazing. Financial literacy.
That's number one.
Mentorship,
and your circle.
The people around your circle.
100%. You have all 3 of those, the sky's the limit at that point.
That's awesome. That's
what's taking me to the next level.
That's great.
You look at it, the first conference I went to was a financial literacy conference. That's what exploded my mind to the opportunities of leverage. All right. The second mentorship I went to was where I met somebody, I invested in his mentorship. He took my business to the next level. Now, the one I just came back from in Boise, Idaho, was me around other high-performing entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
And they've just given me stuff. Like, I thought I was doing well, and then you see people doing.
There's levels.
So it doesn't fail.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Great advice. Thanks so much, Mike. I appreciate you taking time to come hang out with me.
Great, man.
I hope you enjoyed
we ain't even got half of the bottle, man.
Hey,
bro,
good stuff, bro, we might get in trouble if we get down there. We might get in trouble on this podcast if we do that. But so thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it. I hope you all learned something from this conversation. Mike can be reached through his handles, Mike_the_businessman on Instagram and YouTube. If you're interested in that industry, thinking about building a car rental company, exotic car rental company, reach out to Mike. Other than that, even I think you should follow Mike because he's a very big source of inspiration. Mike is a very motivational friend of mine. Like, I don't think we've ever hung out and I didn't leave feeling like, oh, someone just said something to light something up in me.
Yeah, you know, I've been trying to get you to start this.
So I really appreciate you. But thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you on the next episode.
Let's go. Thank you guys very much, man. My man.
Bro, thanks so much, man. This was good. This was solid.
One take, right?